U.S. pushes to suspend Russia from Human Rights Council.
Here's a summary of the article.
An overview of the special session on the situation in Ukraine of the Human Rights Council at the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, March 4, 2022. Register now for free unlimited access to Reuters. Bucharest, April 4. The United States will ask the UN General Assembly to suspend Russia from the Human Rights Council, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Linda Thomas-Greenfield said on Monday, after Ukraine accused Russian troops of killing dozens of civilians in the town of Bucha. Russia is in its second year of a three-year term on the Geneva-based council. A two-third majority vote by the 193-member Assembly in New York can suspend a state from the Council for persistently committing gross and systematic violations of human rights during its membership. Register now for free unlimited access to Reuters. Speaking in Bucharest on Monday, Thomas Greenfield said, Russia's participation on the Human Rights Council is a farce, and it is wrong, which is why we believe it is time the UN General Assembly vote to remove them. Since the Ukraine invasion began on February 24, the UN General Assembly has adopted two resolutions denouncing Russia with at least 140 yes votes. The General Assembly has previously suspended a country from the Human Rights Council.
This post received a score of 41,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Some people seem to think the UNHRC is sort of a private club for countries with an excellent human rights record to congratulate each other and lecture the rest of the world about their shortcomings. Nothing could be further from the truth. Seats tend to be assigned on a rotational basis, so that every country gets to take part in the discussions. The point is to discuss human rights and share individual perspectives.
People not understanding what the UN is in general has been an issue for a long, long time, let alone its individual councils.
If the UN can't enforce what I want, then why even have it? A surprising amount of Westerners.
Greater than a surprising amount of Westerners, I would actually say the vast majority. Every time some major event happens, the UN doesn't solve it, and people shout about it being useless. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of the organization's intent and capabilities, and that minimizes all of the good the organization does accomplish. This is partially the fault of the UN. With a better PR program and more clarity around their function, more people would have a better idea of the purpose of the UN. People want to shit on Westerners for not knowing things, but they just work with the information that's readily available. Take Americans for example. They have a bad representative for being ignorant. But a counter to that is that they're diverting like 90% of their focus to keeping their job so that they don't die of some horrible disease without the healthcare that's tied to their job. Many don't have the time or energy to go researching things and just take most information at face value. It's a problem for sure, but it's also a product of their environment. Agreed. We idealistically wish for justice at a world scale, and the only organization remotely resembling a space for that is the UN.
They will become useful the moment we are invaded by Martians. Until then. Edit. Good bot.
Can we get Saudi Arabia off the council while we're at it?
They're off. China is on right now. So is Pakistan. And Cuba.
Cuba should be condemned for the heinous human rights violations ongoing in Guantanamo Bay. Hold on, I'm being handed a note.
Beg your pardon, I misspoke. Nothing to see here. The HRC is not meant to be an elite club where countries with good history with human rights self-congratulate themselves endlessly. The point is to have discussions with violators and hopefully get them to stop.
It does not mean that they kick people out for war or else many countries would be kicked out. It does not mean you are kicked out for human rights violations or else many countries will be kicked out. What people don't understand is that the UN is pretty much just a, are you recognized by most countries? Then come in, sort of deal. There's very few recognized nations that aren't a part and those have very special reasons for not being in it. On the international level, word-only accusations and dialogue is very common and par for the course.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.